It may be Taco Tuesday for some, but what it really is Trump tanks Tuesday. And in this breaking story, my oh my, do we have some actual facts for you? Not alternative facts, Kellyanne Conway, actual facts about exactly where the rubber meets the road when it comes to what Donald Trump has been doing for his first 100 days and what it really means. Holy smokes. You know, Donald Trump always talks about, we're going to be winning. There's going to be so much winning. You can't see straight. Let me show you where Donald Trump has won the gold and the silver medal in his own two terms regarding approvals. Take a look real quick.
Yeah, we'll focus in on independents here, and independents feel that Donald Trump has vacated the center of the electorate, the overall net approval ratings. We're going to look at the worst ever at this point in a presidency. The old record among independents for the worst ever was Donald Trump back in 2016, a net approval rating of minus 16 points. Well, Donald Trump has broken his own record here. He now holds, in this particular term, the worst ever net approval rating at this point in a presidency among independents at, get this, minus 22 points. He is 22 points underwater with independents. That breaks the old record that belonged to Trump. He has set the new record. He is completely underwater with the center of the electorate, Cape.
I think Harry Enton's about to pass out. Donald Trump only surpassed the worst approval in history at this point in presidency by his own record. You can't write that kind of comedy, but there it is. And yet...
Yeah, let's focus in on the economy, right? And let's take a look at Trump's net approval rating on it and look at the trend line over just the last few months. You go back to January, he was slightly above water with independents at plus 1 point. Look at this drop, Kate. Oh my, minus 29 points. That's a 30-point drop in under 3 months of time. What independents are hearing from Donald Trump, they hate. They hate what they're hearing from Donald Trump, and they are abandoning him in record numbers. At this point in his last presidency, he was about at 0 points in terms of his net approval rating on the economy. And now, I simply put, Kate Baldwin, can't find anything close to this. This is such a record that there is no historical analogy to be 29 points underwater on the most important issue of the day with independents. This right here, my dear friends, is political poison.
What does Donald Trump care about? He cares about popularity and money, and that's it. And there's the answer to the popularity, and the breaking story we have for you is, oh my, look at where the money has gone, because he doesn't even make it to the medal stand with this. Take a look at this breaking story of truth.
The S&P has dropped the most under Trump for any president at this point in their presidency since the S&P 500 was in fact created back in 1957. And indeed, it is not anywhere close, folks. It's not anywhere close. Under Trump, it's dropped, get this, 14%. The next closest one was George W. Bush back in 2001, a drop of just half that at 7%. No other elected president at this point in their presidency saw a drop of 5% or more. So Donald Trump is on a planet all by himself, a planet you do not want to be on, the American people don't want to be on, in terms of the drop in the S&P 500 approaching 15% already in his presidency. No bueno.
So all of this and the ripple effects from the trade war have a lot of people talking, of course, about a recession coming. Some even saying that we're already in a recession. Where are the numbers on that?
Yeah, okay. So, of course, this is the whole question, right? Is what happens on the New York Stock Exchange, what happens in the NASDAQ, what happens in the S&P 500, stay there, or does it then cascade across the economy? And at this particular point, there's a decent chance that it will cascade across the economy. Chance of a recession. You see, I have 4 different little metrics we can look at. JP Morgan, 60%. Polymarket, 57%. Reuters, 45%. Goldman Sachs, 45%. That's a bunch of numbers on your screen, but they're all basically telling the same exact story. That is, on either side of 50%, there's basically a 50-50 chance of a recession at this point. And that is way up from where we were at the beginning of the Trump presidency, when the numbers simply put weren't anywhere near this. The stock market is a reflection of the economic state we're in. The chance of a recession is another reflection of the state of the economy that we are in. The bottom line is that Trump's tariff wars have taken what was a pretty gosh darn good economy and turned into a very uncertain economy, one in which the stock market has fallen and one in which the chance of a recession has gone up considerably, Kate Baldwin.
If there is a recession, how much blame is Donald Trump likely to face?
Okay, so this is the whole thing. Am I going to blame the last guy and I'm trying to fix the economy? Or is it we're going to blame this guy, Donald Trump, and the buck actually stops there? This is what the American folks say. If Donald Trump believes that he can somehow escape blame if there is in fact a recession, I'm here for a reality check. He will simply not be able to do so. Blame Trump if there's a recession in the next 12 months. Look at this. A lot or quite a bit. That's the majority winner right there at 52%. A little or not at all, perhaps a little bit high, some might say, at 32%. But still here, the clear majority of Americans say that if in fact there is a recession in the next 12 months, which at this point looks about 50-50, the majority of the American public says that the buck will stop at the White House, stop at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and Donald Trump will not in fact be able to escape blame if there is in fact a recession.
In history, Donald Trump wants to be remembered fondly in history. I'm the best ever. I have the best words. I have the best people. I know the most about everything, more than the generals. Yeah, no. We can only hope now that he doesn't do something so tragic it's not irreversible in terms of American history. But what we are witnessing, what Harry literally said, if the elections were held today, this man is underwater in a way you would never survive with your own home mortgage. And as I continually say in my life, if not in my house, not in the White House. And folks, what we are witnessing is truly tragic history. I can only hope and pray that somehow, some way, one of the morons he has in his Trumposphere doesn't do something so egregious that it costs thousands and thousands and thousands of American lives. That's all we can hope at this point. And the truth of the matter is, you see those protests this past Saturday on the 250-year anniversary of the American Revolution? I got bad news for you, Donald. They're not going to stop, son. You better suck it up and do the right thing. But then again, that's kind of beyond you. So in the meantime, you guys stay healthy, stay positive, enjoy your lives, talk to your friends, talk to those you don't agree with. Stay frosty.